to our first session here on Full Time. Big kia ora going out to everybody out there. Wonderful to have you all tuned in. Like to send a shout out first of all going out to our sponsors, Racecrack Motors down there on Grey Street. Also, we're going to be taking a look at some of our guests. Well, we've got pretty much the usual guests, of course, as usual. Our man, Rao Walker. Morena, bro.
Yeah, good morning, Keithy and boys. The same four main actors you find most weekends on that award-winning show. I don't know if it's award-winning, but it's a show of some type and
it's a show.
Nature. So, good morning on a very overcast and cool, giddy morning.
Joining us also from up there in Paeroa, we have our man, Reno Wilkinson. Morena, bro.
Yeah. Morena, bro. Morena, boys. Good to be back every Saturday morning. 1st of December today, so pinch and a punch for 1st of the month. And, roll on to the next few weeks of Christmas coming up real soon. And she's a wet day here in Hauraki. Not looking too flash outside. So indoors. Might be playing a bit of Fortnite.
Yeah, great idea. Also joining us from, hopefully a sunnier place than we've had over these ways is our man JT, Jason Tawhiwhirangi. Kia ora, bro.
Morning, Keith, and morning, Reno and Ra. Yep, you can probably maybe hear the birds during the length of the broadcast. Signifies it is Friday here, not a cloud in the sky once again. Just want to reiterate on what Ra touched on, the award-winning side of it. Well, we're not quite yet, but we are gaining momentum, boys. If sliding down the mountain and going the wrong way is momentum, it still is. So, yeah, look out. Here we come.
Indeed, there is. Now, the big news, I suppose, that has happened, in particular over here, and there's it's something that we definitely discussed on Wednesday, isn't it, Reno? Of course, the departure, one would say, of Shaun Johnson, which I guess is going to leave a major hole, eh? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I suppose so. But I suppose, like we've said, he's made his decision. He's opted out from the Warriors, pulled from his contract a season early, and it's on the cards where he will go at this stage. Not 100% confirmed, but it does look like the Sharks, maybe a 3-year deal, was going to be one, but looks like it's going to be extended. But, Hey, that's business, I would guess, I suppose, for Vodafone Warrior fans and for the club, like the CEO made mention during the week on social media. Got to worry about the business, got to worry about the team. And I know we've spoken about it, 2019 being the year, so that seems to be the priority at this stage. Shaun, he's gone, and that's just the ups and downs of being a professional sportsman, Keithy.
What's your take on it there, JT?
For me, the biggest concern from a Warriors perspective is that they haven't got anyone to replace him as such.
Yeah.
They've talked being Brandon Mitchell Moses or the other fellow from Parramatta, can't think of his name. But, yeah, look, Jesus, what Cronulla, I pack of grubs, my biggest pack of grubs in the competition. You've got the lots of Gallen, Peter, and they had Michael Ennis there a couple of years back, and I just don't think he'll fit in with the culture there. And Aaron Woods as well, please. Wake me up. But, we're doing all the best wherever he goes. I was hoping, and I did say this jokingly to a friend of mine the other day, that would swap Cameron Smith for him. Send Smithy to the Warriors for a couple to see out his days. Got the young fella Brandon Smith ready to go, and I don't think we could hold on to him for another couple of years. I don't think he'd be willing to play second fiddle coming off the bench. He might move on. But, so Shaun Johnson, just wherever he ends up, hope he can reinvigorate himself and actually find some consistency rather than one game good, 2 games dumb, and then 1 game average, and so on and so forth. So, interesting times, all right? Just not Cronulla, Shaun, please.
Yeah, I wasn't overly keen on Cronulla, but all the best of him to him nonetheless. There've been a number of people that have come out talking about, one of them, of course, was Peter Peters, who was talking about, how a big loss, not only was it a big loss, but, maybe a head should roll from having discharged Shaun Johnson there. What do you reckon, Marino?
Yeah, I suppose, I can speak like anything, Keith. Always someone's got a head's got a roll here, but end of the day, decision's been made, and when I was talking to you on Wednesday, I spoke with Shaun on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know he's just down the road from where I am, chilling out, just getting away from the media stuff at the moment down his grandparents in Thames. So, it's just one of those things. It's kind of overshadowed where the boys are kind of out at the moment doing some pre-season warm-ups. They're building up for a preseason game against the Tigers up there in Whangarei. But, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I know the Sharks have a fair bit going on in their club. They lost 10 of their personnel as well. So there's a lot going on there. NRL will not help them out with the salary cap side of things. I don't know. It's just one of those things, Keithy. And I don't think anyone's head should roll. I'm guessing the CEO, when I found out details yesterday after speaking in depth with the Forum Club up there, he got put on the spot in front of a media interview.
Right.
Because it got leaked out that Shaun was going to be released. And basically he just put his head on the chopping block and announced that it was official. Not in his own way he wanted to do it, because Shaun was still over in the UK with the Kiwis.
Right.
And he wanted Shaun to address it, but he just got thrown by media in that position and had to address it. He thought, well, I'm not going to be a mug. I'm here as a CEO. They've employed me to do this role. So he fronted, and for the saviour of the sponsors, but also for the club overall. So, yeah, I don't think any head should roll, mate. I reckon you may see a bit of a clean out somewhere along the line. Maybe sometime next year. I understand Steve Kearney signed up for a few more years. He had a hard task to kind of look at someone to replace. There's Brian Smith, who's working around behind the scenes, looking at someone, maybe developing this young kid, Chanel Harris-Tavita. But then there's a lot of names that's popped up as well. So, I don't know. One of those things, mate. I reckon I'll make an indent, like we touched on Wednesday with the Warriors franchise. There are a few Shaun Johnson fans out there. I was talking to Sir Peter Leach yesterday. His first reference to the guy who burnt their jersey. You're nothing but a dickhead. There's no need to do that type of stuff. That's just stupidity. And he's just one player. The bigger story is the team now, focus for the team. Like we've said, mate, 2019 is going to be the year we say. They've got to try and prove it now without young Shaun Johnson. But like JT said, you got to wish him all the best. I reckon you'll most see a lot better player at a different club. I wish, like you guys, that it wasn't the Sharks. I reckon he could have played better at another franchise. But so be it, and we'll see what happens.
He brings up a good point. Reno brings up a good point that, it is only one player. But having said that, is a very good player, a very special player. And not just that, but he's the highest point scorer in the history of the Warriors. What do you reckon?
Well, yeah, I mean, one player, is one player, but at the end of the day, ultimately, depending on the talent and the skill level of the player, they can make a heck of a difference in a team. It's like having the right part in the car engine, Your cars are going to either go fast or it's going to go slow. All will be revealed next season. I mean, if the Warriors, your Warriors, Keithy, have another atrocious, inconsistent run again, the knives will be back out. That's a given. But look, I'll tell you, they'll save a bit more money on the old sort of salary purse. I think how much was going on, $1 million a season with the Warriors or something. So, who they decide to sort of channel that into, somebody up and coming, somebody young, is still yet to be seen. But I think the exciting news for me is that whoever takes Shaun, if it is the Sharks, I think they're looking to play him out of his normal position that he played, within the Warriors. So we may see a lot more of an attacking, expansive game from Shaun, but that's still yet to be revealed. And anything can happen in 2019. But I suppose we wish him the best, and it's going to be a watch this space. And as I think we alluded to on numerous occasions, former ex-Warrior players who tend to sort of re-sign with another club tend to do exceptionally well. Don't know what it is. Don't know if it's just a breakaway from the routine of the Warriors and how they prepare and play. But a lot of former, players tend to sort of do exceedingly well, and no doubt Shaun Johnson will be no different. Let's hope he's able to sort of maintain that sort of free-flowing game. And I don't know. He's secured a lot of Warriors fans. It'd be interesting to see in 2019. Definitely a watch this space.
What's been interesting, at least for me, Raz, that there hasn't been anything. We've heard nothing from Steve Kearney. Is that a little bit of a worry? What do you reckon?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think he's probably got something in mind, or they've got something, up their sleeves, or waiting to release whatever that they're going to. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we know that football, like any sort of team sport, is exactly that. It's a team game. One or two quality players can make a difference, but unless the whole unit's playing as one, then you're probably not gonna do as well as you think you would. So let's hope the Warriors team in general can sort of hanker down, maybe get a few more new players in there, and just get a bit more sort of get a bit more sort of momentum going forward in the new season. Because I tell you, the more good players they lose, well then it's not a good sign for the club. So I just hope wish them the best, and let's hope they can pull finger for the new season.
Is there still plenty of talent for 2019? The Warriors there, Reno. What do you reckon? Is there still enough talent to win it?
Yeah, there's heaps of talent around, mate. It's just one of those things. The ups and downs of an NRL club doesn't have to be the Warriors. Look, he's only one dude, one guy who was quite brilliant at times, but more often not. He kind of epitomises the word consistency, to be honest with you. He's no Cooper Cronk, Cooper left the mighty Melbourne Storm, JT's team, went on to the Roosters. Look, they got a grand final, so you can't compare the two. Shaun's just one of those players. When he's hot, and when he's cold, mate, he's really cold. He's off the game a lot more than being more consistent. So it's only one player. I reckon just move on. That's where Steve Kearney will be, focusing on the team. He's into the training. That's where it all starts throughout the summer holidays. Get the boys fit, focus on the big job next year and see what happens. That's especially why he hasn't commented. It's like the CEO said, it's all about the team now. It's the franchise instead of Shaun now. So he's made his mind. Someone will replace him. It'll take a bit of time. Who that will be, we'll just have to watch this space and see what happens, mate. 2019, we'll see what it'll do. The jerseys have been released. Hey, but I'm more excited now about the Indigenous and Māori game. Those jerseys were released earlier this week.
Okay.
But JT, you must have some thoughts on Shawnee and that type of stuff, eh, bro?
Yeah, mate. Look, it'll be interesting to see how he does fit into where he ends up. So look. At times you probably might disagree with this, but the Warriors forwards haven't done him any favours. They haven't been going forward a lot of the times. They've been quite dominated in recent years. Back in the day when Ali Laututi and the likes of them were playing, the Warriors forward pack were the cornerstone of the limited success they've had. But unfortunately, interesting. I think key thing for 2019 might be on the rails, bro, because they've lost a couple of good ones. Johnson, of course, is part of their side. James Gavay, however you say it, he's moved on. He's one of their, in my opinion, one of their best forwards. So I did call you Nostradamus earlier on in the piece for predicting this 2019, but I might have to change that to Nostradamus or maybe Jeffrey Dahmer or something like that. I don't know.
Still to be seen, though. Still to be seen. Keeping the faith, Reno. Keeping the faith, bro.
You're hanging in there, bro.
They're going to give rates discounts to religious places, so Mount Smart should qualify because most of the people there keep the faith. And
True that.
Often blind faith, I'm sure Raul will agree there.
He certainly would.
Yeah, I think their new sponsor's Destiny's Church, by the way.
Great. Thanks for that one there, Thanks for that one. Oh, right.
But hey, that's just what it is, I'm excited for next year, bringing on the NRL season. There's a few good teams, got a few good signings. Newcastle Knights got a couple of marquee players. I don't know if Glimmer's worth 850 a season, but that's just what it is. Like I said, the Indigenous game kicking off. I'm looking forward to that, and the Māori playing. Also, the reinvigorated World Nines tournament. That's going to be happening during the season next year. But also the Magic weekend, where all the games will be played at Suncorp Stadium from a Thursday through to Sunday. So, there's more to look at for the season. State of Origin series, obviously. I think there's going to be a game in Perth, if I remember rightly. But, there's more to it than just Shaun Johnson and the Warriors debacle at the moment. So we're just going to move on and bring on. I'm hanging out for it. And like JT, I can't wait till the NRL season. True. I'm just hanging out, man.
Because that is going to be a great opener, isn't it, JT? We're basically all of the teams are going to be, in the Broncos' hometown or something like that. Man, that's going to be pretty awesome, though, isn't it?
Yes, model on what they have in the Super League in the UK called Magic Weekend, where all the teams get together at the same venue. And quite often with the UK system, they'll take it to a non-rugby league area. Like this year was in Newcastle with the Geordies right across on the eastern coast of the north of England. So, it might be interesting.